It's ironic, isn't it, that on a day when Tommy Robinson is dominating the news, he should have an opportunity, this a convicted prisoner, to successfully release a podcast from within a high-security UK prison. That says less about Tommy Robinson than I think it says about the inadequacy of our justice and prison system, and the staggering implications, therefore, for prison security, public policy, the rule of law. And what are the rules that govern prisoners' media access? Whether this prisoner happens to be a media star or not, was permission granted for Robinson to record a podcast? It was likely recorded via a phone call, circumventing monitoring systems, but there needs to be some sort of oversight. How does such a breach occur in a controlled environment? And the message involved praise for Elon Musk and Donald Trump, call for the release of political prisoners, including the January the 6th rioters, and by implication, presumably himself, because he claims that he is a political prisoner and suffering mental torture. Well, if he's being held, as I believe he is, in solitary confinement, I don't understand why that's happening. I don't understand why he's in solitary confinement. I think the treatment of Tommy Robinson, rather like the treatment of Julian Assange, seems extreme, but British justice has always come down heavily when the legal system itself has been held in contempt or is in question. And Starmer pointed out that, of course, Tommy Robinson's actions very much undermined the rule of law and the success of legal cases, and the continued narrative that he puts forward of victimhood. I think he is a victim, but there are clear legal rulings against him, and the impact of his platform spreading misinformation both before he was incarcerated, now while he is incarcerated, is extraordinary. There are clearly security lapses, and the tools and the tactics that he may have used to evade detection are his affair, but the focus should be on the failure of the prison system. Will there be repercussions? Will there be increased penalties for Robinson? Well, Robinson has frankly exposed the inadequacy of the system. But we saw the inadequacy of the system the other day with Gay, whatever her name is, I can't remember her other name now, the lady who was taken back to prison because the prison system didn't have tags that were the right size for her legs or for her wrists, and so simply because the prison system was inadequate, it couldn't give somebody the freedom on license that she deserved. We have to look at the problems within our prison environment, and then you have to ask the questions about free speech and the proven disregard for law. Well, if you're incarcerated, you don't really have free speech. Before being in prison, did Robinson have free speech? Did he disregard the law? Well, clearly he did, and clearly he was found guilty of doing so. Musk's controversial support for Robinson has global implications, but also has implications about his respect for British law. Laws can change, but I think somebody who is poised, who is on the cusp of ascending to serious political power himself, it's questionable whether or not it was wise of him to question the practice and the reach of British law when he is going to be involved in setting laws and monitoring legal processes in the States with a job within government. As for public perception of Tommy Robinson's podcast, the podcast's impact on public trust in institutions like the judiciary and the prison system, that must be held into that must be a major impact. Added to which, of course, this dangerous allure of martyrdom for far right figures. There might be a comparison with Alexei Navalny. I think that would be misplaced and inappropriate. But the absurdity of modern life, a prisoner podcasting while claiming solitary confinement, this is absurd. And does Elon Musk now see himself as the guarantor of free speech for all, including prisoners? The seriousness of this breach is the key issue here. It's bizarre. It's almost comical. Aspects are there, but the robust measures to ensure that prisons remain secure and are not broadcasting studios for convicted criminals. If prisons can't control podcasting inmates, what does that say about the state of institutional authority? It doesn't say very much, does it? I think here is another part of our crumbling British state which is failing demonstrably.